You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife. Marriage rocked. I've explained to you that the dynamic between Harry's wife, a narcissist, and Harry, the intimate partner primary source, is one where he is in sustained devaluation, a fate which always awaits the intimate partner primary source of the narcissist. I've also explained that it's highly likely that she's going to disengage from him, and that'll take place in less than a year. But according to Radar Online, Harry and Harry's wife's marriage was rocked by his testimony about ex-Chelsea Davy. He talked so affectionately about her. Prince Harry gave an intimate look at his relationship with ex-girlfriend Chelsea Davy while testifying in his case against Mirror Group newspapers, a difficult portion from his court battle for wife Harry's wife to read, RadarOnline.com has learned. Insiders said the Duke of Sussex's shocking confessions rocked his marriage, just as the couple called a ceasefire in their seemingly never-ending battle with the royals. Well, pausing there. The narcissist is allowed to make mention of exes, of other people, and that is triangulation. When you're in the golden period, the narcissist will triangulate you with other people in order to make you feel good. Oh, I thought my last lover was good, but they're nothing compared to you, darling. Or, how wonderful it is to be with someone that cares about me after all the rubbish I had to deal with last time. The ex is smeared, but there is a triangulation. The victim thinks, how lovely that I'm being praised. They think so highly of me. And in the circumstances, that enables that individual to be brought under control, and their responses provide fuel for the narcissist. The narcissist does this positive triangulation as a means of asserting control over the intimate partner primary source, and also, of course, by comparing them favourably with other people who are then viewed unfavourably, enabling them to assert control indirectly over those other individuals. So when an ex comes up on the radar, rather than hoovering the ex directly, and thus potentially rocking the boat with the new intimate partner primary source, the narcissist is able to get control over both by praising the current IPPS. It's such a delight to be with someone who treats me so well and so fairly after how horrendously I was treated by my ex. Oh, don't worry, says the glowing intimate partner primary source. I won't treat you like they did. You're safe with me. And thus their agreement shows they are under control, provides fuel to the narcissist, but also enables a subconscious, indirect sense of control over the ex. It's a win all round for the narcissist. Yet when you enter sustained devaluation, you'll be triangulated malignly. You're not as good in bed as my ex was. They satisfied me far more than you do. My ex would never talk to me like that. My ex used to do it. Why won't you? Why can't you be more like my mum? Whatever it might be. And often the narcissist will contradict themselves, suddenly praising someone that months earlier they had been lambasting, leaving you confused. Thus the narcissist is perfectly entitled to make mention of other people, and does so regularly and repeatedly as a manipulative method of triangulation to get to the prime aims. But woe betide you if you start mentioning an ex or other people that you happen to know. Even an innocent comment about the fact that Martha at work had a new hairstyle and it suited her is you giving praise to Martha and not the narcissist, which can then cause you to be painted black and result in you receiving devaluing behaviour. If you bring up an ex and speak about them in glowing terms, at least demonstrating a fair view of them, that's no good to the narcissist. You're talking about somebody else, which means the narcissist is not getting the required fuel, and you're threatening the narcissist's control of you. Thus, you are causing a problem, and it will result in the ignition of fury. Oh, you're still in love with your ex. No, I just said that she was a kind and decent person. It's you that I love. Oh, well, it can't be. You're fascinated still with your ex. You're always talking about her. Of course, it's not a case of always, but the narcissist portrays it that way. Why don't you just go back to her rather than be with me? Cue pity play or falling to the floor sobbing in order to cause a sensation of guilt in the suffering intimate partner primary source. Accordingly, where Harry, perhaps justifiably and perhaps fairly, spoke favourably and affectionately about Chelsea Davy, indeed he mentioned her far more than he did Harry's wife, that is not going to go down with Harry's wife well at all. Irrespective of the context, the narcissist is not interested in context. The narcissist just hears that you were talking about an ex and not her, and therefore that threatens the sense of control. The article continues by explaining Harry felt he had no choice but to testify because he believes it's the right thing to do for the greater good, a source told In Touch magazine in their June 2023 issue. He talked so affectionately about Chelsea Davy and made it sound as if they'd still be together today if not for outside influences, which is like a stab in the heart for Harry's wife, added the insider. Even more so because she's a narcissist. Harry argued the British media would report on his triumphs but took greater pleasure in knocking me down, citing instances amid his now fizzled romance with Chelsea Davy. We met in about early 2004 and were in a relationship we continued on and off until around 2010. Our relationship was long distance for the majority of the time we were together, with Chelsea and I often living in different countries, so we relied on communicating by phone a lot. He shared in a written statement filed at the High Court before he took the stand to answer questions. We naturally spoke about all types of personal matters, including all aspects of our relationship, and this was often through voicemail. As my girlfriend, I trusted Chelsea with the most private of information and vice versa, the royal renegade continued. Harry and Chelsea Davy ultimately called it quits owing to the difficulties that came with being in the public eye. I completely understood her desire for freedom. If I had a choice, I wouldn't want this life either. I would miss her very much, but I understand she puts her freedom first, he wrote in his memoir, Spare. Harry's wife and Harry tied the knot in 2018 and have put on a united front throughout their union, although insiders claim their marriage is being put to the test. No one really gets over their first love, the source said, and deep down, Harry's wife knows that. That's nonsense. It's got nothing to do with that at all. Simply this, she believes that she should be the centre of his universe, and even though he may fairly speak affectionately about an ex, that is a threat to her need for control. To say that that is what has caused the marriage being on the rocks is inaccurate. What's actually caused the marriage to be on the rocks is the fact that she's a narcissist and he inadvertently keeps threatening her control, and that she has grown bored of him, and eventually there will be a disengagement trigger. It is her narcissism that is bringing the marriage to its knees. The fact that Harry happens to mention an ex in the scheme of things, whilst threatening her need for control and igniting her fury, is actually pretty inconsequential compared to the other factors that I have explained. Nevertheless, this article demonstrates once again the inaccuracy by which people report about the dynamic because they simply do not understand how narcissism works and how it impacts upon the victim and the way that the narcissism functions and operates. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.